Hi there, my name is Matthew Brick. I'm a Valor Christian High School student, brother of four. I'm a wrestler, and I'm out to find interesting stories to talk to about, make connections, and hopefully point people to God. Let's get this, the Brick House Podcast.
This is Brick's home. This is your house. Presenting the Brick House Podcast. The Brick House. Here comes the boom.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Brick House Podcast. My name is Matthew Brick, and today's a very special Saturday. I'm here with my brother, Jackson Brick. How are you doing, Jackson?
I'm good. How about you, Matthew?
I'm doing good. I'm actually really excited about this. How about you?
I think it's a really cool experience. And, I've never been on a podcast, so this feels a little weird. But I think it's pretty cool that you're doing a podcast. And because, I like watching, the Full Send podcast with the Nelk Boys and some other podcasts, like the Joe Rogan podcast. So I think this is, super cool.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cool. I mean, now, this is not broadcasted. It's just audio. But hopefully people can be they hear it and be like, that's pretty cool.
Maybe one day you'll be able to have, a camera or something.
Yeah, I'd love to. I don't really have a place to, we're doing this in our house. We're not, I need a place to record.
Yeah, a place.
And I don't want to, I could record it at school. I could record it at the library. But I want somewhere that's stationary or, not, somewhere in place. And, the background isn't always changing. And plus, then you have to kind of worry about what you're wearing, what you look like. And it's actually kind of
who's around you and stuff.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Because people could be intrusive sometimes. I don't know.
No, I hear that. Tomorrow you're going snowboarding, right?
Yeah, with some of my friends. First time of the season. Keystone opened on Wednesday, so I'm gonna shred.
How long have you been snowboarding for, Jackson?
5 years now. I just got a whole new setup. Just got a new coat, new bib, which are basically pants, some boot. Or not boots. I got new boots last season. But I got a new board, new gloves, new goggles, and a new helmet.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I mean, I've tried snowboarding, but I'm not that good.
Yeah, remember we had that instructor guy.
Yeah, we had that. Yeah, that was cool. But I don't know. I felt like I couldn't stay up. But hey, that's all right.
You excited for the Fortnite season?
Actually, I've seen it all over, but no, I have not. I'm not really excited.
Fortnite Battle Pass.
What do you think of the Fortnite?
Well, it's not like the original Fortnite, and it was kind of overrated, the new season. I don't know if a lot of your viewers will agree with that, but I think it's just kind of mid.
Yeah, I think some people might. I don't know if everyone would care, but some people would. Yeah.
So what are your plans and hopes for the future with the podcast?
Well, I personally don't want to. I want to have meaningful people on, and not that you're not meaningful. Your family, I'm one of the most meaningful people in the world. But my hope is that this podcast can inspire, and I know this is just one of the very first few episodes. But if I can somehow grow my ability to speak and be able to get someone else to speak and help them.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, basically help others. Maybe I don't know. Maybe by my voice.
Eight questions. What?
I know. Okay, Jackson, how you liking a rapo? Because I know I've told people that you go over to a rapo and how I'm at Valor.
Well,
you're at a rapo. William's at Options.
Even just talking about that. People ask me, why is your brother at Valor and not you? And I don't really know what to say. Maybe it's because, I haven't had the best behavioral record in the past and some other things, Or, grades. So it's kind of, and then they're like, oh, so your parents love your brother more than you? I'm like, not really. Just, he had better grades and stuff. A Rapo's all right. It's not the best school. It's not the worst, It's all right.
What would you say the student life is like?
It's pretty good. There's some high girls. I don't know. Being a sophomore is kind of crazy, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. The freshmen this year are kind
Yeah.
of weird, so. Kinda
Well,
sucks.
Yeah. You like being better, or you like it more being a sophomore than a freshman?
For sure. Being a sophomore is like probably like 10 times better because like when you're a freshman, everybody's like, "Oh, you're a freshman." You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think this year is going a lot better than the last year.
Well, last year was kind of it's a little hectic, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah. I would say any freshman going into high school is probably like, they have this plan going into high school thinking, I'm gonna do that, or I'm gonna do this. It's gonna go this way, but it rarely goes the way you're thinking.
Yeah,
You think
like,
so? Yeah.
Yeah, I have better grades than I did last year, but like last year I was like, dude, high school, I'm going to wake up on time every day. It's going to be like the best day ever. Dude, when I wake up in the mornings, I'm like, oh, dude, I want to die. Like, I can't take it anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I get to school, I'm like, I could be asleep right now. This is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, what would you say? Like, you like the classes at Arapahoe? Are they pretty easy or
Yeah,
like manageable?
Probably the worst class, though, has to be math. Math just sucks so much. Like, I can't stand math, but every other class is pretty good. Like, I really like history class. That's like a big topic I like learning about outside of school, too. So,
Yeah. Like, there's that thing. It's like on kind of like TikTok or on Instagram, but it's like the thought of like how guys think of the Roman Empire at least so many times a day.
I at least think about, like, maybe twice a day, you know?
What do you think about? What do you think about in the Roman Empire twice a day?
Well, I like to think about the Roman Senate before Imperial Rome during the Republic era.
Like consuls and
Yeah, like the two consuls that would get elected each year, and then like the senators.
yeah, like what you look at their form of government, like you like that or what intrigues you about it?
Well, I also really like when there was emperors. Like you have Emperor Augustus, or before Emperor Augustus, he was known as Octavian. But Emperor Augustus really changed the game. Like he just brought a new era of the empire, expanded it farther than it was. So it being an empire was much better than in the long run than being a republic. But the republic lasted like 700 years, or no, like 500. The first 200 were like kingdom. But the Roman Republic, it worked really well for a while, which is better than most other civilizations.
Well, you even look at when they had emperors. I mean, the emperors there were only like 8 or 9 emperors.
No, for Roman Empire there was like 50, bro. There's not.
Or they died. Like I would say,
But they didn't reign that long.
Yeah, they didn't reign
During the crisis of the 3rd century, there was like 4 emperors in the span of a year.
Yeah.
It's because they kept getting assassinated.
Well, yeah. So why do you think that they kept getting assassinated? Because they're
Well,
like greedy.
The one thing with the empire and also with the republic happened a lot is generals, they would have to pay their own legionaries, and legionaries are soldiers. So because the generals would pay the legionaries, like the legionaries kind of would look up to the generals, you know? And when like the emperor, the crisis kind of started when the emperor died, and then like I can't think of the general's name, but him and his legionaries thought he was like the rightful heir to the empire, so he marched on Rome, and it just kept happening over and over.
Yeah, that's
Like it's like girls, like whoever has the most bread, they're just flocking to. You know, buddy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is my brother, guys. Yeah.
Very interesting stuff, though.
That's cool.
I think it's really good to show like how you're being more open, and it's not like really script. How's Valor going for you? Because I know last year was a little more rough than this year.
Valor's going well.
Like, what would you say like is the biggest upside to being a sophomore than a freshman?
Personally, I think it's experience, and at least for me, it's realizing that you do not
Have to like fit in.
You do not have to care as much. You're just like, you don't have this like unspoken pressure. I feel like a lot of freshmen have this like pressure to be something. Like they feel like they have to go to parties, do this, do that.
I feel like it's more now than it was for me last year, freshman year.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, last year at the beginning of the year, I kind of had a don't give a attitude, and now I'm like actually caring about school, like my grades and stuff, and like my behavioral, and it's just kind of like it feels like there's more pressure.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe for me at least, I can say that like last year, I mean, I think as you get older, right, then you have more opportunities, and yeah, you might feel more of the pressure. I can totally see where you're coming from.
Well, like also, like the older you get, like some of your friends aren't gonna be there anymore, and I feel like the groups of people get more spaced out than like when you're like in elementary, middle school, and like freshman year, you know?
Well, yeah, then you start getting exposed to the real world, and you get to see more people than just the people that are in your class, everyday classes, your school.
Well, I don't know if it's been like this for you, but like when me having a job now, it's kind of opened up some of the real world for me. Like some of my coworkers are like fully fledged adults, and it feels kind of weird like speaking with them because I'm only like 15, about to turn 16, so it's kind of weird because they're like, I don't know, if they try to give me like tips and stuff, and it's like it feels like a lot, like a big bombardment on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've had 2 jobs. Not very long for either of the jobs, but yeah, like just being with people that like, it's kind of like a weird thing to be like you're 16 and you're hanging out with kids that are either just starting to drive or haven't been able to drive, and you're hanging out with adults that have had jobs for many years. They have families. I've worked with a guy that had kids.
Yeah, some of my one of my coworkers, he's like 50 something. It's kind of weird. But that's like I like it, but that's one reason why I kind of want to have some of my friends from school working with me, because like I don't know, I'd feel more comfortable, you know. And I don't really like some of the conversations that I have with them are like really boring.
Yeah, I could see that, and like maybe they can't always maybe relate because of that age gap.
Well, yeah, because their generation, like this one guy at my work, he's kind of weird, but he was like, Riz. Like my 50-year-old this delivery driver there was like, what do you mean by Riz, bro? What is Riz? Like, you know?
Yeah, that's funny. No, I don't know that. I can imagine. I mean, kids are, you know,
Well, like
the limbo.
I don't know if you would
say.
experience it though at your lifeguarding job, because like you were there with most of young, like early 20s, late like.
Yeah, the
20s.
oldest person was probably like 22. I did work at a pizza place for maybe a month, like 4 or 5 weeks, if that. It's not because it wasn't a good establishment. It just didn't work out for me. But yeah, I get it. Yeah, I did work with a few adults, but yeah, for the lifeguarding gig, it was just 16, 17, and even that was just kind of like, it was chill. But I mean, the only drawback is you kind of hear other people yap a little bit.
Yeah, like yap, for example. One of my friend at work, it's kind of weird. He was talking about what you yapping about, and like the 50-year-old guy was like, "What do you mean by yapping? What does yapping mean?" Yap.
What would you say is something like, if you were to go to an adult and say something, what phrase would you say to an adult that they would probably not get?
Sticking out your got for Rizzler. Sticking out your gat for Rizzler. Have you seen that on TikTok, and it's the most annoying shit in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't have to explain that.
It makes me want to drive up my car 60 miles per hour into a brick wall. Sticking out your gat for the Rizzler. Yeah, no.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little odd.
My brother in the background.
Yeah, we have our other brother in the background right now. He's just messing around.
He started playing this song. It's kind of funny. So, you're going snowboarding tomorrow.
Yeah.
Then you go back to school Monday. What do you think? Because especially going into the new year, we only got like maybe 5 or 6 weeks of the year or something like that. Like, what are your hopes going into the new year?
Well, I really hope I get to keep my grades up, you know, snowboard more, be able to do a cork 180 or some stuff like that on my snowboard, definitely. Probably get my car.
Get a car?
And my license. Really that, you know, maybe spend more time with family or some stuff. Like, that's just for me. what would you say your New Year's resolution would be? Because
Well,
those are really just mine.
Well, personally, I want to grow stronger faith with God. I think.
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
for sure.
yeah.
I
mean,
agree.
I've been going to youth. Actually, I got my first wrestling match, November 29th.
Can I comment on that real quick? I think it's good that you're wrestling. I wrestled last year, and I don't know, dude. I just don't really want to wrestle.
No, I hear it.
I enjoyed it. It's just
It's a grueling sport.
it's for the weak-minded. Just playing.
Wrestling's for the weak-minded. No.
No. I don't know what else. People who quit are weak-minded.
Yeah, I
It's
think.
fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not that I don't like the conditioning or anything. It's just, I don't know. I already have a lot on my plate right now. School, work, you know.
Yeah. I
And
hear
also, with, like, I really love snowboarding. So, like, one of my favorite things to do.
that. Might as well
So,
do
like,
what
you
you
can't
love.
really do it, like, if you're wrestling, you know. Because we got, like, you got wrestling meets and tournaments, like some tourneys on weekends and stuff. And it's a little, kind of I guess sometimes it's a little annoying, you know, like waking up at, like, 5 to get on the bus and go to a tournament.
Yeah. Well, so why I brought that up is that'll be the first time I will have missed youth since last March, and so I don't know.
That would probably be a little tough, you know.
Yeah, but I mean, well, I wanted like one of the youth group guys. I wanted him to come and watch, but he won't be able to. But I'm gonna go win it for them. So yeah,
Yeah, for Jesus.
for Jesus. Yeah, talk about Jesus a little bit. I mean, this podcast, I would like it to have an underlying theme of Christianity, about God and Jesus. I want to be that type of guy. They'd look at Matthew and be like, what's he doing right? What's he doing? And if I can even just show a presence of God through me or through my actions, I'd love to. So what would I guess my question is, what is your like favorite Bible verse?
I have to pull this up, dude, so I could read it.
that's
I
fine.
know it, but
I can tell you lately for me, it's been, I think it's somewhere in Matthew, but it's like, as long as you have the faith the size of a mustard seed, you can like push a mountain or something like that. Like you only need faith the size of a mustard seed. And I think that's like kind of like reassuring, because in a lot of ways, a lot of times that's all you can give. That's all you can produce.
also with that verse, a lot of people like to misunderstand it and like only like be nice or something like that. Like that's just being a lukewarm Christian, you know. Probably my favorite verse though is, "I am He who will sustain you," Isaiah 46:4. I really like that one because it's just talking about how like you need God to get through every day. Like if you did not have God, then you wouldn't be taking a breath every morning. You wouldn't be waking up, having another chance to come to Him, you know?
Yeah, I hear that. So that you explained why you like that verse, but like, do you think that is like, does that show in your life?
Sometimes. Some days, I don't know, like, I don't know, I have a lot of vices, you know? Like, I have a lot of things that take me away from God, and I feel guilty for it. Like, laying in bed, I'll just be like, oh, I should have not done that today or something. And I get really regretful. And, like, God doesn't want us to be regretful. He wants us to, like, pray for Him to forgiveness and stuff. But it's just kind of difficult, like, a lot of things just distract me from like living a godly life and holy life, you know?
Well, I can tell you, God loves you regardless of.
Well, yeah.
Well, He loves you. Like he, you go to that vice, you go to that to sin. God loves you regardless, but God knows that you have so much more, and He has so much more potential for you. So, what I would say is, a lot of people expect, right, life, or even just accepting Jesus, you're not going to experience pain. But I can tell you this: one thing I've realized lately,
The journey with God is
Journey
just
and
going through pain.
no pain, no gain.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to get through.
Have you seen the movie?
No pain, no gain.
Yeah.
No, actually, I have not.
It's a good movie. You should watch it. I recommend you it.
Well, I don't know what that is, but okay.
Who was our old personal trainer? Not to get off subject, but who was our old personal trainer?
It was Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony told us to watch No Pain, No Gain.
Okay, yeah. For the people that are listening in, he was a cool guy. He
Difficult life.
yeah.
Not really what we've experienced, but
He also had like deep faith, I would think.
like, what are your opinions on like Israel and Palestine? I'm just joking, you know. I don't think This podcast should really be about politics because I don't know. In a world so divided, we should just have any division just between brothers or my brother Matthew with other people. You know, like it's just a world full of hatred, and we shouldn't bring more hate into the world.
Well, I think, people, when they look at Christians, as Christians, we're supposed to uphold, I think we have a higher responsibility, per se, to do things right because, we talk about, or at least in the Bible.
Well, Jesus commands us to be.
Yeah, God commands
right.
us to. But we as humans,
we
fall short. And so a lot of people point to us as hypocrites, which we are. We as people and as Christians, people in just general, I believe that, we'll never be perfect, but we're in pursuit of a perfect God, and I think
of
if
a
we
perfect
can,
life too.
Yeah, I think it's more of like not necessarily doing better, because I don't think works get you into heaven, but it's more about a perspective change and just putting the lens of like we're all broken, we're kind of in this broken world, but how can we help the people around us?
Well, I feel like we could really help a lot of people even just by setting an example. Like being an example of God and stuff, living a holy life,
So I'd ask, how have you been doing that? Or do you, is that a hope of yours? Or
yeah, I'd say it's more of a hope, but sometimes, like, when my friends are like, I don't know, like, they'll ask me how to live more of a holy life. And I'm pretty good with some theology, so. But I haven't been the best with living a holy life and living a godly life,
It's
been very difficult the past year, so.
Yeah, I can relate to that, and I think the people that are listening to this, they hear it with COVID and everything. It's rough, but
COVID really messed our generation up.
Yeah, but yes, but I think it also toughens us,
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
That bro. And weak times create weak men. Weak men create hard times.
Weak men create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create strong times, and then the cycle repeats.
I think we're only going to be strengthened from this, and so
I
think what
we should really pray for right now.
Yeah, pray for the people beside you,
because in our world where it's so divided, with Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Palestine, China, Taiwan, all these current world events, we should stick together, because this is just the beginning. I feel like,
Yeah. So, it's fun. It's fun doing this. Well, if I can slightly change the topic, I'd like to do this last thing. Last thing. It's called rapid fire.
Okay.
So I'm just going to be asking you questions, and you try to answer them really as quick as you can.
Okay.
You ready?
Sure.
All right, what sport would you do if someone were to bet you $100 to do, but you've never played that sport?
Hockey.
What's your favorite food?
Ice cream.
And
Scream.
What haircut would you get that you don't have right now?
Buzz cut.
I
ain't getting a buzz cut though.
Yeah, I hear that. All right, well, that's a wrap with Jackson Brick.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. And I'd love to maybe have you again on the Brick House podcast.
Hey, I gotta say one thing. If you ain't hard, you're soft. Think about that for a second.
They always hating on me and they tell me I'm nothing, but really I'm trying to survive. Say you believe in the Lord, do you really have faith in our God? Is you ready to die? Water's getting weak, it's so the people are God now. When's the time to go rise? Had to listen to the signs. Lord, use me as a vessel to preach to the guys.